Hello, my crafty friends. It's Michelle, the Southern Shell, and I am here to share with you what I made for the Stencil Sunday collaboration. This collaboration is brought to us by Kristi from Funky Junk Inspiration and Mary with the Painted Peach. Links to their channel along with the playlist will be in my description box below. And I hope you guys all go and give them some love and let them know I sent you. This turned out so pretty, so let's jump right on in.
All right, y'all. So I had another video go live today as well. We had two going on, the first of the month collaboration and the stencil collaboration. So these are what I made for the first of the month. These lovely little embellishments. And for the Stencil Sunday, I'm going to create the book for these to go into. So I am a Chalk Couture designer, and look at this adorable little make stuff stencil. So I thought that this is a cloth covered binder. Look at this, it's gorgeous. I believe I got this at a thrift store or it was gifted. I've had it for so long, I don't know where I got it. Probably a thrift store. But when you open it, these pieces inside are bookboard thick. I mean, this is awesome. This would be wonderful to attach for our charms and other embellishments that you may keep in a book like this. So let's make an embellishment book. Now, the first thing you're supposed to do with these stencils is to use a microfiber lint-free cloth. They sell them, but I do not have one, so I am using my microfiber cloth here. And you want to do this a few times so you get some of that sticky off, so it's not going to pull up any paint or other things that you have on your background. So now I'm just going to bring the front of my book, and I want to kind of have this at the same level. There we go. I'll put a roll of ribbon under there. Look at that. Perfect. And I'm going to do one side first right here, and I am going to start with some espresso. All right, now I have my little spatula, and I'm going to come in just like this, and very gently I'm going to come on down. Now I've seen people doing this where they do this, they come down, they lift, they press it back down, and I'm not exactly sure why they do that. It has something to do with the paint drying. And I'm wondering if that's because of the surfaces they're using, whereas mine is the book. Ooh, look at that. So while the cover is drying with that first layer, I am going to come in with the first board in my book, and we are going to cover this so that we can start building up an area to place our embellishments. So what I'm going to do first is I think I'm going to use the green and just cover the whole board just like this with my green. And I'm just going to use my glue stick for this. And come back in with my scrapbook paper. This is a piece of scrap that I had, and I'm just going to line it up so that I can fold it over the edges. Let's do it this way so you can see it better. Alright, so I use the glue stick, rubbing the paper down, coming to the back side, and we're going to trim around this. Alright, this is a first. I actually have the paper wrinkling up using my glue stick. That's not happened to me before. That's okay. We'll just rub it out, and it's going to be covered anyway. All right, and I'll bring it to the back side, and I'm just going to come up close to that corner, but not touching, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to get my bone folder and use that to scrape down too. And I'm just going to drag this along the edge right there. Look, I got some glue. Let's wipe that off. Let's rock it a little over. Rock it a little over. 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 Okay. Come in, and I'm going to fold that down and give it a burnish. Drag that on the outside now. Drag it on the outside. There you have it. And now we are going to fold this up and over. I'm going to put it along the edge at the bottom, maybe. Edge of the bottom. And then I do the edge at the top. Bring it up, over, and press into place. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to do that with all 4 sides. Last side, up, over, and press into place. Look at those perfect edges. Now you can come in with your bone folder, press your edges so that those corners are nice and there's no messes. All right. And there you have your first board covered. Let's go ahead and just, I'm going to punch holes so I don't lose them. Actually, I can use that as a guide. Let's go ahead and cover the back side. Will that fit? No, I'll have to use this side here. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I am going to cut this out to actually fit on the inside of this side of the board here. So let's do some measuring. All right. Let's come in. Make sure you're up against that edge. And you shouldn't have any problems. I'm just going to trim just a hair off this side. Alright, there we have it. And now we can come in, and I'm going to go ahead and use my art glitter glue and glue this down to this back side. And let's go ahead and press it down. Now I'm going to make sure my orientation's upright. Take a second board, line it up so I know my holes are on this side. And I'm going to come in with my Crop-A-Dile and I'm going to punch those papers out. I need to move that back. There we go. Now you can bind it. You feel more comfortable. Now I can come in, line up my holes, and press. Line up my hole and press. Alright, now I've got my board ready. Alright, let's make a pocket like this on the side. And I use the opposite papers. So I'm going to use this piece here that I cut down just to make sure it fit. And I'm just going to take this and fold it at that corner, and then I'm going to fold it at that corner. I'm going to pull and pinch. Now you can score this, you can draw this, you can measure this. I am just folding it just like that, and then I can have a stabilized edge on that pocket. Let's glue this part down to here, but let me go ahead and cut that first. Let's trim off that bottom edge. And there we have it. And I want to glue this piece now onto the inside pocket. We're going to bring it up, over, fold it down, and press it into place. Always put my needle back in my glue. And then burnish, 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 burnish. Now I have a great piece to put right here on the edge of this page to slide things in. So now all we're going to do, outside edge. I don't like using sticky tape on pockets because the edge of the sticky tape stays sticky and you can get stuff stuck in there. It works great to place on maybe the inside, but not when you're making a pocket. So now I'm just going to line it up and lay it down right onto that. I want to call it a signature, but it is definitely, it's kind of like a board, dashboard, but there's not going to be signatures in between it. So now I have a pocket on one side and a pocket on the other side. Let's ink our edges, but we need this to be right about 6 inches, I believe. Let's do 5 1/4. So we'll measure that out. 5 3/4, not 5 1/4. That'd have been funny. I'm gonna mess. All right, 5 3/4. Let's do there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3/4. Let's ink the inside here. In order to do that, I'm going to just take a piece of scrap cardstock. Actually, that's cardboard. And we're just going to come in like this. Let's do the same thing to this side. Say hi, guys! Say hi, Gigi. Hi, Gigi. Is that Mama? Where's your baby? There's the baby. There's the new grandbaby. Oh, isn't she precious? So perfect. Oh. Yay, Theo, big brother. Let's cover up that little edge since I cut that too short. What I'm going to do is take this piece of ribbon here that I have. I'm going to line it up. You can actually have it hang down if you want, but since it's an embellishment book, I'm just going to line it up. Let's go ahead and clip it at the bottom so I know right where I want it to be. Let's go ahead and glue it first. Ha ha ha. Now what I'm going to do is pull that taut up, line it up, and over that top, and I want glue on the top, so we're just going to line it up, line it up with your edge, and bring it on over. Now that can be clipped down there, and I can bring it down and glue it down at the bottom. The book is nice and dry. I have my Make Stuff stencil here. I had a hard time cleaning off that Chalk Couture paste on that other stencil. It says just to rinse it under cold water and then use a board eraser. Well, I rinsed it under the cold water and I used a cloth to try to make it look better, and it just stained that up. So guys, if you've got, I could really, really use some advice on that one, on how to clean it. So I am going to center this on my board, on my book here. Let me go ahead and just put that ribbon roll up there so that I can have it. And I'm going to just use my Distressed Oxide ink here because I know it's water soluble and it might stain it as well. But I don't know. I really want to use those paints and the colors. I'm just nervous about doing it. So until I can figure out how to clean them better. So I'm just going to come in with my black soot and just give me a good, and we'll see if this even does what it needs to do. This might just be a shadow for me. I don't know. I might do this and then come back in with another color. Yeah, right. Yeah, that did not work. Let me go, and this might be a good background. How about that? So we'll go ahead and add it on there again. And that's just water. That cleaned up a whole lot nicer. I do have some ink, some Chalk Couture ink, but I really wanted some color on the front of this. So how about Peachy Keen? Sage would be pretty too, or pesto. Let's do Peachy Keen on the make and pesto on the stuff, or backwards. It doesn't matter. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's start with our make. Alright, let's get that cleaned up. Alright, that's what it looks like so far. And I wanted to make it more mine. So I have this really pretty lace here, and I have this other crocheted lace here, and I'm going to do a layered effect just up here at the top. So I want to have that right about there, and I'm going to use some hot glue first, and so that, I mean, I know it will stick to this, it'll be great. So I'm just going to actually grab a straight edge, and I want to hold this down so I can see it. I have it propped up there a little bit so that I can see better, and I'm going to lay that down there. So I know kind of where I need to lay my hot glue. I think it's a little chilly today. Alright, let's press that on into that hot glue. Oh, look at that lovely spider web I made with that glue. Alright. Cooled down rather quickly. That's odd. This is a very hot glue gun. Probably because of the metal ruler. And I am sitting in front of the window watching it snow. It is beautiful. Down the back. I'm going to use this lace, which I used on the inner page, and some art glitter glue. You can use Fabri-Tac, but I have art glitter glue on my desk. So I'm just going to run this a nice thick bead along the edge of that white lace. nice and thick. And there you have it. Let's add a tassel to the outside of this book here. And we're just going to use that garment pin and attach it to this lace right here. Maybe. Here. There we go. Struggle's real, guys. Struggle's real. My husband's practicing his guitar in the background. You can hear him. All right. What do you think of my embellishment book? I think that turned out adorable. Oh my goodness. I'm very pleased with it. And then, of course, here's our hooks. I had to take some of the cardboard pieces out because it is not as, it just, I think with the beads and stuff on it, it's just too thick. So I will play along with this idea. I have a different book that might work better, and I might just end up switching over to that. But this will definitely get used for something, whether it is for more flat items that won't stick up as bad. But look at that. I love it. Thank you guys for joining me today. Your time's precious, and I know it. It is snowy out there, and so I am just happy to be inside where it's warm and able to watch the snow while I create. If you like this, guys, I hope you give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, I hope you'll consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. All of the links that I can find to the stuff that I used will be in my description box below, along with my Amazon store to find some of the smaller items like maybe the tassels or the beads or something. So I will link what I can find down in my description box, and I appreciate your time. Guys, as always, stay safe. God bless. Bye for now.